We are going live. Setting up our live tube meeting. And we are live on YouTube. So yeah, if you guys want to talk about what happened last week, setting up our live tube meeting. Yeah, go ahead.
So we all convened in Greece, and we were meeting up with what's he called, Harry, because he had some sort of a lead where he was following up with it was with he was meant to be having a meeting with the daughter of some other professor chap.
Person.
Yeah, can't recall his name.
A science
yeah,
man.
now I'm just aware of the fact that we are missing Jace, and Jace had like you, Craig. So you've got a thing where you get story points if you do your thing in a way that involves everybody else in the adventure. But I think because we haven't got Jace, I might give you one as well, Tom. Harry, I mean.
Okay.
This is the sort of thing I should have given you in advance of the game, but I'm going to
wing it.
Just read it out to you. So yeah, use this handout to help the director start the adventure and drag your friends into it. So this is just a bit of incentive for you. Professor Alexandros Georgios and his archaeological expedition have reportedly made some very interesting finds. He has invited you to Athens to show some of his findings to you. His granddaughter Elena will pick you up and take you to the excavation site, and you will meet at the Argonauts, a seafood restaurant in Piraeus, on Monday, May the 17th. But as we know, she wasn't there, was she?
Indeed.
So,
was it Filakes, where she is, the island? Is it?
Yeah, we sort of tracked her
down. You did some detective work, found out where she might have been, because that was not available to you at the time.
Yeah.
And then you got a boat and attempted to go to the island, and we had what was called there a challenge, which is a sort of a particular sort of multiple role situation in the Troubleshooters game. You didn't all succeed at that, so things didn't go quite according to plan. I think a couple of you were seasick and the like. And what that means is you have arrived at the island after dark. And that is where we will be starting the adventure. But just give me a moment and I'll tell our potential audience that we are here. Craig, you had a question about something.
Was it the Sixth Sense earlier? Or the surprise condition? Or do you mean the island, the name of the island?
No, I think I mean the Sixth Sense earlier.
Oh, yes. Okay, so it says I could spend a story point to drop the surprised condition and act as normal.
Right, so I think there isn't a surprise condition, actually. I think this might be an early version of the rules. There is, however, what's called a flat-footed condition at the moment in the rule set I've got, which I think is what you can drop. Whenever you're surprised, caught unprepared, or otherwise not ready for action, you get the flat-footed condition, which means you can only take a free action on your turn. And then at the end of your turn, you drop the flat-footed condition, but you, Craig, can spend a story point to act normally, even if you're surprised.
Okay, got you.
So let me just tell everybody we're streaming and then we'll crack on. Anybody else got any questions about the rules?
No, but I just wanted to say, I don't know if it's the same for you, but it looks like my camera's running about 3 frames a second.
Oh yeah, your ghost form.
I don't know what's happened to it, but it's struggling. It's very odd.
I like it.
Well, tell you what, Tom, just don't move, and it'll
Mm.
go perfectly well if you just stay stock still with the same expression on your face. Yeah, that's perfect.
Mm.
Uh, uh, it's not how you spell troubleshooters. Damn, give me a moment. Everybody who's watching now, be impressed by watching me tell everybody to come to the YouTube channel. And tweet that. And quickly go to Facebook and do the same there. Give me a moment.
When I search for your channel on YouTube,
Yeah,
very hard to find it.
it's not hard to find. All you need to do is tap in the address YouTube C so youtube.com/C/effect podcast.
Better than the way I was doing it, which is to type in effect into the search bar.
Oh yeah. One of
Doesn't
the
like
things
you.
that happens there is we get a whole bunch of people who because we've appeared on things where we've been a guest star on a really popular thread, then they take up all the first page of the YouTube results. Because we're a neophyte channel, we just don't have enough support. So let me say to anybody who is watching this either live or recording, press like, subscribe to the channel, get those metrics up in a way, write comments, whatever you want, just get those metrics up in a way for us that will help other people find our channel. There we go. Look, I've done the thing that everybody does at the beginning of a YouTube video. I feel so proud of myself.
Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
etc.
That's the thing I forgot. Hit the bell. Hit the bell. Right. Okay. I am ready to go. So we are approaching in the dark after your somewhat difficult voyage. You are coming up to the island and it's relatively dark. And the island, Craig, you asked what it's called. It's called Filakes. It's a relatively small island. You're going quite stealthily, I think, but as you approach it, you can see that there's a number of beaches and coves that you could potentially land on any one of those. But in one of them, there is a large stone pier. And by that pier, moored against it, is a large motorboat. So what do you want to do? It's dark, remember.
Well, can we pull up at the same pier and dock there as well, or?
Seems like a good spot.
Yeah.
As you approach, can any of you who've got the alertness skill make a task check?
Yes. Gotta roll dice. Can't remember how to do it. Okay, 2d10s somewhere. And I did not succeed.
Okay, right. So you motor up to the pier and one of you has to get ashore to tie the rope around the bollard on the pier to secure the boat. Who's doing that?
I'll do it.
Yeah, I think I'm on the wheel.
Yeah, I think you'll be driving one.
Aye.
So as you do that, a rather sleazy looking man will come down to the pier and he says, "Hey, private property, you no tie up." Tom, Harry, do you want to make another alertness check, please? This one at +2 pips, which means if you get a 1 or 2 on your dice, you succeed anyway. 1 or 2 on your ones dice, that is.
Yes, that was it. This time I succeeded anyway. Got
Cool.
under my thing.
You will also notice with your alertness that he has a bulge under his jacket that suggests he may be armed.
Or well endowed.
No, not a bulge in his pants, a bulge under his jacket. That's not a gun in his pocket. Well, it is a gun in his pocket.
I want to act actually like I had trouble understanding him and try and get closer to him. I'm sorry, old chap. What was that? I'm a little bit hard of hearing, and all this noise from the boat, and my ears are still ringing. And I'm just sort of bluffing my way towards him as I try and close on him a bit.
Okay. While you're doing that, Paul, can I get you to make sorry, not Paul. Yeah, you are Paul. Craig. Can I get you to make an alertness check?
Okay, what's my alertness? 45. 39.
39. Okay. You're a bit of a judge of character. You know, you're a bit of a wheeler and a dealer, somebody who's sometimes really brutally honest, but generally not. You see the signs in this bloke. This private property thing, he's lying. If it is private property, it's not his property. He doesn't have any authority to kick you off the island.
Okay. So I come up to him and confront him and say, this is not private property. I know where I am, and you need to go away and leave us alone and stay quiet because we are not here.
Okay. Are there any skills you want to use on that?
I suppose it's not charm, really, is it?
Well, what you just said wasn't charming, no.
It's his definition of charming.
No, I think that would have to be other skills. What does prestidigitation mean?
Prestidigitation is conjuring, clever light finger work.
Light finger work. Okay, not here. Yeah.
Pocket. Oh.
I think it'll have to be other skills at 15.
Pull a deck of cards out and say, now pick a card, any card, and then you throw it in the air and it appears on the back of his neck.
I'm not gonna make you roll that dice, because as soon as you start coming on, let's face it, a little bit aggressive to him, he gives a shout, and seemingly out of nowhere, 5 other people show up. They're all rough-looking hoods. If they were in the what do we call it? If they were in the comics, they'd all have sort of like hatching over their lower chins, and they'd probably all of them be smoking, and they look to menace you.
Oh dear. This is not turning out very good.
This is where I wish I'd got the hunting rifle out of the boat before stepping onto the land. The hypothetical hunting rifle that I own.
So this is we're in pitch black still, aren't we?
It's pretty dark. Yeah, not quite pitch black. It's moonlit, I would say.
These other fellows, do they also have large suspicious bulges?
They don't have large suspicious bulges because they're now getting their guns out and pointing at them, saying, "Your hands up, English! You!" I don't know where you are from, Paul. Where are you?
I'm French.
French. You! French! Hands up! You in the boat! Hands up! Get out on board! Bring your stuff!
I put my hands up. Now, there's no need for any violence here. We're all friends.
We take you to camp, they
Right.
say.
Okay. Well, I think I might find a way of pulling out my flashlight and blinding their eyes.
You're going to try and do that.
Why not?
Why not? Why not? It's a role-playing game. You should do what you want. How are you going to do that? Let's have a look at your skills, shall we? Give me a moment.
Wouldn't count as melee, would it?
Agility, maybe? Or
Agility 65.
could you use your prestidigitation, slipping the torch out of the sleeve and voila.
Yeah, if you're trying to blind them with a brisk bit of work, as it were, then yes, try and blind them.
All right, so 65.
65. Do you want to take a? Do you want to look at your distinctions? Is there anything you want to add to that to give you any pips and bonus, or get story points by giving yourself a negative?
Well, I've got ability, lockpicker, or sixth sense. I don't think them. I've got a bad reputation. Set gain.
Gain 3 story points. Now I think that works.
Yeah,
so, I think it's worth. I realised after the last game exactly how we should be playing this. I think Tom, you did a pretty good job as Harry, but there are effectively, if you take -2 pips on any of those skills at any point, i.e. making it more difficult for you, you get 3 story points.
Okay.
So, and that's on charm, contacts, or status. So this situation where you've already been angry, they're already pointing their guns at you. I don't think that's going to get you that stuff. You have potentially got that lockpicking skill. So that's one of those, that's a useful thing. If by any chance you get, I don't know, tied up or handcuffed in this adventure, which I think might be happening quite soon, then later on you might be able to pick the lock using your prestidigitation, and that's got that skill of rolling your percentile dice, and if you get 91, you can turn it into 19 and succeed in the skill. Yeah, so I think it's just a straight prestidigitation to try and blind them with by whipping your your torch out and shining it in their eyes.
Okay. Oh, I've dropped a dice. So that's what's 40, 49.
49 against your skill of
65.
Okay, so you shine it in the leader of the gang's eyes. Feels to me like we're heading into some sort of initiative territory, aren't we?
I think so.
This is turning out to be a bit of a fight. I don't know whether everybody's going to be happy with this, but
yeah, I'm not sure I want to get shot immediately.
well, you haven't got much choice in that argument, Tom, unless you hand yourself over now and say, "Don't be a fool, Paul," or something. So initiative, could I get you all to roll a task check against your alertness or the basic skill of that to director characters, and tell me what you get. Tell me if you succeed or not.
I failed.
Okay, so if you fail, your initiative, what did you get on your ones dice?
5.
5. Okay, that's your initiative. Craig, what did you get?
I got 80.
And that's a fail too, is it?
Yes.
So your initiative is 0. You guys in the boat? What are you doing?
I passed. I got a 1, but
So you got 0, 1.
yes, yeah. Yeah.
If your task check succeeds, your initiative is the 10s plus the 1s of the roll.
So
that
just a
makes
one.
one, which is
Yeah.
a bit like a failure. But
It's a shame.
I might count that as you go first. I don't know. Or
It should be
work
like
that out.
101 if you get a 1.
Yeah, I think it might be 101 exactly. That's worth asking for some clarification, I think, later on. And Eloise, what is your initiative?
I rolled to D10, but I don't know what I have to add because I don't have any skill with that name.
You don't have alertness. That's interesting. So your alertness
That's a
is
skill.
15.
Okay,
So what did you roll?
I rolled to D10, 43.
Now here's a thing. I'll let you do this retroactively if I need to explain the rules. So this is a perfect example of your sleepy condition having a power here. So you could have said before rolling, but I'll let you do it anyway if you want to, that because you were asleep, you gain 3 story points if you take a -2 pip on your dice. So 15 is what you had to roll, but if you'd got an 11 or 12, you'd still have failed. So do you want to take those 3 story points anyway?
Okay, so how many we have in total?
Well, you can have as many as you want, but you then spend them on effects, on making your powers work. Or so I'll just remind you, shall we go to the list that says what you can do with your story points?
Yes, how many we have to start with?
You don't have any to start with
Okay,
until you earn them by taking negatives on a dice roll like this.
okay.
So that allows you to do things like flip the dice, as we were describing with Paul. What else can you do with story points? You can have up to 12 in total. Oh, actually, you do start with 4. I remember saying that last week, and I've forgotten that. Yeah, so you had 4, so now you got 7. Eloise. You can use them to flip a task check for certain skills. For 2 story points, you can change a failed task check for certain skills into a success. For 4 story points, you can activate a major special effect, which is unique for your ability. You can activate your gear kits and things like that. You can ask for a clue for 1 to 4 story points.
What does activating your gear mean? You have it suddenly.
So
yeah, they've got that number next to them. We thought last time maybe that's how many times they could be used, but is that maybe how many story points it costs to use them?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
You can add something to the story. A minor thing costs you 2 story points, and a major thing costs you 6 story points. So, for example,
Harry could spend 6 points and whip his hunting rifle out of his trench coat.
Yeah, that would probably be a major thing. But, you know, a hairpin for picking locks or something like that, that's a 2 story point thing. Maybe a gun not whipped out of your trench coat, but maybe somebody dropped that gun over there. That's worth 2 story points. 6 points is something, you know, if you wanted to whip a gun suddenly out of your trench coat that you actually had hidden, that might be a 6 pointer, I think. Convince me.
The old elephant rifle.
6 story points, but also see that you are massively outnumbered and quite heavily outgunned as well. I'll just, before we start getting into a firefight, because okay, so everybody clear on initiative? Everybody's Tom's going first, I think. Sorry, Tom Electra is going first. What did you in the end roll, Eloise.
I roll a d100 and roll a 9.
Sorry?
I roll a d100 instead of 2d10 and roll 9. 0, 1,
Yeah, that's
0,
fine.
9.
You rolled D100. So what did you get?
9.
09. Oh, well, then you've passed. So let's say Tom goes first, Electra goes first, then Eloise, then I think other Tom, and then Craig. And sorry, these guys have got a roll as well, and I can't remember.
Which language these NPCs they are speaking? Or which
They're
accent?
speaking broken English.
Which one is a native accent?
Sorry?
Which one is a native accent?
Their accent doesn't sound Greek.
And German?
They get, hold on a second. Okay, they're on 7s. So, so Electra, you go first.
Right.
Are you armed, by the way?
Me? No. Nope.
So I know it's your turn, but is it possible for me to spend a story point to have my hunting rifle in the boat next to Electra so that she can...
That will cost you 2 story points, but it's entirely possible.
I will do that.
Remind Electra that you left your hunting rifle in the boat.
Yeah, I'll do that then.
Openly, on the thwart or whatever.
So there's an option for you.
I'm not sure if we want to sort of jump out off this pier and is it that kind of thing where we just start shooting everyone?
Yeah.
Just murder them all.
So taking a turn.
Given the genre, it probably isn't, I'll say.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to take your agency away. If you want to...
No.
Don't have to use it. It's just there as an option.
It's there, but you said it's quite dark here, or
Yes, it's moonlit,
moonlit.
shall we say.
Romantic moonlit night. Men with large bulges.
What if I let off a shot with the gun and shout at them that they're surrounded and to put down their weapons?
Okay, that's worth a try. Now, what are you going to do to make that a thing that is actually likely to work?
Do you have any skills that might be useful for that?
Electra. You are overconfident.
I am.
So
I should do that straight off the bat. Although I don't know, it has to be one of my higher sort of skills. I'm not sure I've got one that counts.
no,
Power?
I reckon that would be to convince them. You'd be 15%.
Right.
If you want to take a 2-point modifier, then you could do that too. You could roll 15, and if you get and say you're taking a -2 pips, and that means if you by some fluke get an 11 or 12, you've still failed, but that's just your overconfidence going, and you get 3 story points to use later.
Yeah. Oh no, because it says I have to have a skill value of 65 or higher for overconfidence.
Oh, you're right. Okay,
That's...
you can't do that one. No.
All right. Well, I'll just try my bad bluff and see how they take it.
Roll your dice. I'll trust your result.
46.
46. You fail. Your rifle goes crack in the air, and you shout, but you don't think you convinced anybody. There's still one of them is still like blinded and kind of not seeing properly. It is pointing his gun everywhere else, but everybody else has been quite calm and covering each of you.
Yes.
Eloise, it's your turn next.
Yes. how many of these history points can you spend in one round?
What do you want to do, Eloise?
And how many percentiles you can add to one skill per point of
You
story
can't
point?
add anything to your skills through story points, I don't think.
Okay.
You can give yourself, in terms of the pips, let me just remind you what you can spend those pips on. Give me a moment and I'll look up the rules. Bookmarks, there we go. So you could argue that something in your gear is useful, or one of your abilities adds something to it, or depending on the circumstances, maybe the circumstances help. So, you know, if you said it's dark, I'm going to sneak away, I might give you a pip or two extra bonus on that.
Because I was thinking about using some of these points to get some kind of electronic device, something that may look like a watch.
Okay,
so with a
timer. You've got
about 7 points.
To look like what?
A kind of a bomb device, or yes, a bomb device of some sort.
Looking like a what device?
Like a explosive device with a timer. Something in that, something like that. I mean, not, it doesn't need to be that, but something with that.
Okay, so I reckon you probably have got a multimeter in your kit, and you could, with some magnifying glass and sorry, not magnifying glass, with some clamps and leads, you could probably hold that up and say, look, this is a trigger for a bomb.
Yes.
And I would give you a +2 on that if you spend 2 story points.
You mean to create
that? Well, just to grab it out of your kit. You haven't got time to create it, but if you just grab it out of your kit and try and convince them, what you'll need to do, I think,
yes, and doing that to use the Mad Invent skill or ability.
To use which ability?
The Mad Invent ability, the first one, the one. It says 1 per session. If you have a dangerous looking device with impressive special effects, you can activate it or wave it around while laughing maniacally. I kind of trying to scare them, doing something like that.
Your tech whiz ability, but you need to have a skill to roll that against as well.
Have engineering electronics, perhaps.
Yeah, but you're actually trying to convince them it's a bomb.
Well, an electronic device of some sort.
Well, yeah, but tell me what sort you're trying to tell them it is.
First, I'm trying to create it, and then I will try. If not, I cannot do too many things in one round. So first, I'm going to try to create something.
You're going to look like a fake bomb you're trying to make. Okay, so use your electronics, I guess.
Okay, it's a 65. Let me roll. $36.
76.
No, 36. 36.
36. 36. Okay, so you've created something that looks like that. Looks like a bomb. The hoodlums turn next, and because Electra has actually fired a warning shot off, but it didn't freeze them, I think they might actually take a crack shot at the two of you on land. They're pointing their guns at. one of them I'm going to give him a -2 because you've blinded him, Paul. But the other one is going is fine. Let me just find out what their skill is. Give me a moment. These guys. Right. I got 55% chance. You first, Paul. The one shooting at you gets 50. And so shoots you. And the one shooting at you, Tom, gets 0, which is 100 bad karma. I think, let me just remember how the dice rolls go. Give me a moment. Give me a moment.
I think the guy probably accidentally shoots himself in the face. He had the gun pointing the wrong way around. He didn't realise he was aiming down the sights.
The little
Bang.
flag,
Easily
little
done.
flag comes out. Bang. Wrong gun.
So that is bad karma. Oh, I'm going to have. He didn't keep his gun clean, and as we have been discussing in something entirely unrelated, it explodes in his hand. So we'll just deal damage to you, Paul, first of all. And I have to remember, so they were shooting at you with a Beretta. I need 5d6. This is the first time I've done damage. You have got something like vitality. What's your stat?
6.
6. Okay, so they're not going to lay you low with this, even if they do really well. Fights in combat on your turn. Let me just find the damage. Give me a moment. Damage and wounds. Right, so it's they've got to get 4 to 6, and 6s explode, and they got 2 points of damage on you. So take 2 from your vitality, Tom.
From me?
No, sorry, not Tom. Yeah, the other chap, I think, with his gun exploding, I'm going to knock him out of the action. But the other 5 say, "No messing around. We kill. Bang, bang. You come with us now." And Tom, it's your turn, and then Craig.
Now, I know I should surrender, but the way I see it, this guy that's this guy that I've been walking down the dock towards, trying to get close to, who then Paul blinded with the flashlight, is now perfect for me to leap at, grab his gun, and sort of turn him around so I've got him hostage.
Okay, so you're going to be using a melee roll for that. I'm going to give you. Yeah, you got a melee skill?
No, I was hoping it'd be agility.
Right, melee is where it's at, man. So that's 15, but you're going to get +2.
Okay. I don't think I've got anything that can benefit me in this situation. Hiking. Okay.
Now I'm going to check this. I think this will be an opposed roll as well, but I will check that out. Give me a moment.
Oh, I got 9.
You got 9, so that succeeds. Let me just confirm that fights are opposed. I'm doing this all right. So you've moved, and this is your main action. Free actions include picking things up, dropping something, readying a weapon, or changing a weapon. But this is actually your attack. I'm going to go with, you got 9. His melee is 55. 23. So I think he doesn't. Let me just check this. How does this work? Forgive me, viewers, we're still learning how to play this game. Oh, Ebrim. Hi, Ebrim. We're still learning how to play this game. Take these notes. refer to your rules. So he's defending himself. Oh, actually, no, apparently that's not his score. I don't know, maybe it is. Can't decide. So yeah, I think you fail in your attack. You don't manage to grapple him and turn him around to the others, but I am not going to give him any sort of counter attack on you.
How do he got a worse roll than me, didn't he? How does it
He
work?
got a higher roll than you, but less than his skill.
So
So
it's
you got
closer
0.9
to the skill is better.
So yeah, but your skill was 15.
Yeah.
So you know 0.9 is a nice success.
Yeah. But you want to be closer to
got
a
50
higher level.
He's better at fighting than you.
Okay.
I may be wrong, but that's the way I'm going to run it until I've read these rules again and remember what I'm meant to be doing. So he's rolled his defense and got higher than you. And something I've read just makes you think that his defense might be a separate thing from his other skill, which is biff, whack, bam. But I'm going to go with that at the moment. So, Paul, Craig, what are you doing?
You got us into this, Paul. Paul Craig.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Can my lockpicker ability hotwire a boat?
No.
Okay.
No.
Right.
I reckon electric can hotwire a boat.
Well, you're gonna like lockpick the guy in the eye or something to disable him.
Which is an
Or a
entirely
lockpick.
different game. If you want to start taking people's eyes out, we should be playing Helmgast's Cults, not Troubleshooters.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to bite the bullet. Okay. Guys, I believe I've made a mistake. We're just traveling here. We come land on your shore. We don't know where we are. Please come and let me through.
Okay.
That wasn't French, was it?
What the other players do.
French.
What do you do, Electra?
I will. Yes. Yeah. What's the meaning of all this? Don't you know who I am?
You're trying to bust it out by talking. Talking is not one of your better skills.
But I'm using my, my media darling plot hook.
Okay.
Extremely famous.
Let's see how that works then. So you've still got a 15, but if you're activating your media darling thing, how many plot points have you got?
I've got 7 at the minute. I don't know.
Oh, it doesn't actually say anything about the rules, that one. Well, I'm going to count it a little bit like that. So I'm going to give you for a story point, we'll activate that. Oh, that's a plot hook as opposed to complication. But I'm going to let you have that anyway. So for a story point, we're going to roll under 15, or anything that ends with a 1 or a 2, and one of them will recognize you and be quite a fan of you.
Okay. Oh, 33.
33. No.
That's a extra bad thing.
They point their guns at you and say, "No, we know not who you are."
It's ridiculous.
So Sophia, your turn again.
Yes. So now everyone is looking to the rest. I'm going to show myself from one side. I'm going to raise my hand with the device. I'm going to use the ability Mad Inventor. The first one says 1 per session, and if you have a dangerous looking device, so kind of, I guess, with impression special effects or with lights, I don't know, or with a timer, I don't know what, I think it was a timer, I can activate it or wave it around while laughing maniacally, which will scare away 1d6 moves. So I'm going to try to move it around just laughing maniacally. We are all going to die, haha, that kind of crazy thing.
Once per session, if you have a dangerous looking device with impressive special effects, okay, so that's what you've built. It will scare away 1d6
NPCs, I guess.
NPCs, and it doesn't seem to cost you any story points.
No,
So
not even rolls.
roll a d6 for me.
Okay. 3.
3. Okay. So 3 of the mooks see your bomb and run for the hills, leaving 1 injured mook who's out effectively, and 2 others. The other 2 are now looking a lot more shady, but they've still got guns. They're pointing them at you, Electra, and you, Tom. And it's their turn. What are they going to do?
Or they're just going to turn the guns around and hand them over. Say we surrender.
They're not going to do that.
We can tell we're facing a superior force.
Okay. One of them is going to, the one that you were engaged in combat with, he's going to try and do exactly what you were trying to do to him.
It's a good plan.
So he's going with his 55%, but fails. The one who's pointing at you, Electra, is going to, I think he's got a slightly panic here, and he's going to take a pot shot at you. And succeeds, doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 points of damage on your vitality.
Okay.
So, Tom, your turn.
So we got these two guys left. I don't have any melee skills.
I'm just going to check melee whether. Yeah, it is the melee skill. It is the melee skill. Yeah.
I have another idea, another trick up my sleeve.
Okay.
I'm imagining that Paul has been sort of flashing this flashlight around trying to dazzle them. And I've suddenly realised that I recognise one of them. I know who he is. I fought in the war with him.
Right. Okay. So I'll just tell you who these people are, and you can see whether you fought in the war with them
Or against them.
or against them. Yeah. So these guys are, broadly speaking, a mix of Russians, Greeks, and Bulgarians.
Bulgaria.
They killed your father in the war.
No. I definitely I fought alongside the Russians. I was attached to a Russian operation at some point.
And this is in the Second World War.
In the Second World War.
Latter half of that, when the Russians were on our side.
Yeah.
Well, latter stages, shall we say.
And
okay.
I say, Ivan, is that you? He's got to be Ivan.
Okay, that's 6 story points it's costing.
It says here 1 story point, so know someone at the location. Yeah.
Okay. 1 story point.
It's my ability called Been Everywhere. I've been everywhere, met everyone, and got the T-shirt.
So this is the guy you've been wrestling with, and you recognise his combat style, and you're saying, okay, right. So he recognises you when you call him by name, and smiles a bit. Craig, what are you doing?
What am I doing? So there is a boat there, isn't there?
There's 2 boats. There's your boat.
There's 2 boats.
And a big motor cruiser.
Yeah, I think they're hiding something. They're being so protective of their little things. I want to see if I can investigate using my ability and jump onto the boat and have a sneak if they're storing anything.
Okay, so to jump onto the boat, I think in a combat situation, I'm going to need you to make some sort of roll.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that?
Would that be
agility?
sneak 65?
Oh, 65 if you're trying to do it in the confusion. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to sneak off.
And I'll give you a +2 of that because of the darkness.
Okay. 84.
So what did you get?
84.
84. No.
Definitely end up in the water.
Yes.
So Ivan says, Harry, long time no see. Hey, you, stop going towards the boat. Which brings us round to Electra again. What are you doing?
Some chap's just shot at me, hasn't he? Or winged me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sort of charge him and try and knock him to the ground.
You're in the boat at the moment, Electra.
And I sort of leap off the boat.
Okay, so that would be an agility roll, I reckon.
Agility.
To move.
Yeah, I haven't got agility either. I might be heading into the water. Let's see what. Oh, 14.
14.
That's just
so you
enough,
leap off
isn't
the
it?
boat. You move towards him. What's the attack going to be? Have you got a melee roll?
Yes, yeah, I got melee. So
what's the melee?
45.
45.
So, but that's 98.
98. So you make an attack on him, but just you've been pretty athletic, leaping out of the boat straight into an attack, but actually your fist just flies past his face
Clumsily flailing at him with this rifle I was holding, probably.
Yeah.
Swinging it by the barrel
Yeah.
like a big club.
Yep. Misunderstanding the nature of how this is
Eloise,
used.
what are you doing?
Which kind of island is this one? It's a fisherman island, or is that or in the place where we are? What is around? What is the landscape looks like?
It's a reasonably small island, but your archaeologist friend would tell you there is probably civilization on it, what we might call a tiny village nowadays, but it might have had one of the places that you've heard of in Homer's Odyssey, the name of a big city in Greece. Who can tell? It's not Athens, it's big, but it might have been a famous place once upon a time in the time of myth. So there's low scrub. It's quite sandy soil. It's quite rocky.
Okay.
Why do you ask?
In that case, I will try to do a sneak. If I remove, trying to go outside of the scene, just trying to take them from the back. Trying to
Okay.
run.
Which one? Ivan, Harry's friend, or the one that Electra is tussling with?
The one who's Electra is tussling with. It will be
Okay.
easier to
So you don't have a sneak ability.
No.
So you'd be rolling on 15.
okay.
Or,
one more.
although, I tell you what, if you spend another story point,
Yes.
because you're a kid, you could just be ignored by them.
Yes, that one was my next question, because I just did the thing with the tricky electronic device, the fake electronic device. I don't know if this ability will count.
I'm
what
sorry,
it
what did you
says.
say?
Because I did what I did with electronic device with the fake explosives thing. It says spend one story point to be ignored by adults in the scene unless you do something violent or alarming. That comes from now onwards or before.
I think you did something alarming.
That's why
You
I
did
was
do
asking
something
for that.
alarming, yeah.
I don't want to cheat, but
Okay.
I will roll the 15%.
So roll on 15 or less.
No, 21.
Okay. Although I was giving you 2 pips, so 51 is, because it's dark, you do manage to sneak around, but that's going to be your whole action for this time. I think it's more than a simple move and action.
Okay.
Although no, I'm going to be fair. You've snuck on a move. Let's try something else. If you want to take an action of some sort.
No, you said it's quite rocky. The only thing I'm going to handle one rock with my hand. I'm not going to do anything else.
Okay. So hit him with a rock.
That's my idea next round, to try to do that.
Okay, cool.
But I'm going to grab a rock. A 200, 201, just to try to. I don't have any other melee thing. Unless you tell me, because it's rocky, they have some kind of a hard stick.
You get 3 actions in each round. You get a free action, which I would say is picking up a rock from the ground here, because you've got the stony pier. You've got your move action, which you've done. So I will let you make another action if you want to attack him with it.
Yeah, just grab a long hard stick or a rock, and I will act next round.
Wait till next round to do that.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Ivan's turn next, I think. And he says, Harry, you know, this is not a place you want to be. Because he's your friend, give me a moment. I'm going to go ahead to the interrogation. And I'm going to give you some information. Where is the interrogation? Okay. He says, this is not a place you want to be. We have people here. They are doing digging for us. What do you call them? Architects.
Archaeologists.
No, not architects. They make houses. These are the ones that take houses apart and take things away. Archaeologists, that's the word.
Yes, we're looking for some, actually.
They work for us now.
We're just checking on a friend. We just want to check on an old friend of mine.
Well, I work for people who aren't friends of yours. So either you'll go away or I have to shoot you or something.
There's no need for us to fight, Ivan. I'm sure we can work our differences out. Maybe over a drink.
Back at the camp, you'll say?
Why not?
I love this conversation taking place in the middle of the fight.
Bullets whizzing by,
When I've got
stones.
paws above her head, ready to knock somebody else out. There's a lecture. There you guys have it. There's Paul going, what the frick? I am Gander. Have you got subterfuge as a skill?
I have the ability to flip subterfuge, but I don't have it.
Okay, so you roll a dice. I will also give you -2 on this one. So tell me what you get.
The -2 on the percentile.
So you don't want to get a 1 or a 2, basically, on your one dice.
I got a 37.
Which would flip to 73, and your skill is 15 because you don't have
15.
subterfuge.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. He says, look, we can be friends here. I tie you up, we take you prisoner, you help dig up artifacts for us. When we have all the artifacts, you go free. Maybe even, what do you call it? A tip.
I'm sorry, old boy. No deal.
Okay, so that's that whole conversation going there. Paul, what are you doing?
What am I doing? I don't know. Did I try and jump on the boat and fall off? Where am I? What happened? Or did I just not? Did I just not?
You didn't manage. You didn't manage to sneak. Ivan is training his gun on you, but he's not shooting you because he's in conversation with with Harry.
Okay, so he's distracted.
No, he isn't distracted. He's got his
okay.
BDO on you while being friendly with Harry.
Okay.
As you move, he's following you around with his pistol, and he told you not to get on the boat or to go near the boat.
Okay, and the other guy?
The other guy is effectively engaged with Electra, and you can see Eloise with a rock poised above his head, ready to give him a good old bonk.
About to brain him.
Okay, well, I think I will go in and try to charm him and say this is a complete misunderstanding. And
Okay.
Who to
Ivan?
Yeah.
To Ivan, yes. And ask him to think back to when he was friends with Harry in the past. Can I do that?
Tell you what, you got a list of
We're just looking for yes.
supplies on the island. You may, with a successful subterfuge or charm check, you may just happen to mention, say, well, I'm working for these people and we're working for the same side, but you got to make that I'm not going to tell you who it is until you've made that roll.
Okay, so substitute 45.
I'll give you -2 on that as well. So
65.
65 now. So you mentioned one of the names. Look, we're working for one of the people on the list I gave you last week. Ourselves, you know, we're on the same side. And he said, who? Meanwhile, back at the fight, Electra, what are you doing?
I think I'm still trying to wrestle this chap to the ground, aren't I? Because he's got this gun that he's waving around, and I guess I'm sort of waving a gun at him. But yeah, trying to sort of bash him, I
So
suppose.
you're using melee rather than shooting.
Yeah, not trying to murder anyone at this point, I don't think. Just sort of disarm him or something.
Well, I've been corrected by Ibrim. These mooks don't have a defense roll. So sorry, Tom, but that's how the story went when you were doing it. But you can just roll your melee, and if you're successful,
I am not successful.
Okay.
He's a slippery customer, this one.
Eloise, are you successful with your melee? I'm going to give you +3 because you've crept up on him from behind. He doesn't even know you're there. So roll your dice and tell me what you've got.
13.
15 you've got.
13. 1, 3.
13. 1, 3. Okay, well, that's an automatic success because I gave you +3. And I'm going to say you've knocked him out. So suddenly Ivan realizes he's outnumbered. And quick as a flash, he's been very friendly with you. He says, oh, it seems that this pistol must be yours, he says, Harry. I remember you loaned me one during the war.
I do seem to believe you owe me one.
I am your prisoner.
You are indeed.
I'm sure we can come to some arrangement. You could let me off this boat.
I'm not sure it's going to be quite so simple. Not sure it's going to be quite so simple, I'm afraid. We may have to tie you up somewhere. You know how it is.
Yes, I know how it is. I was making you the same offer.
Has anyone got some rope or something?
Push him on that little boat.
There is rope in the little motorboat that you hired. There's one thing you find in boats, it's rope.
Well, yeah, we're on a sort of on a pier as well, or wherever we are. Yeah, so I think we can tie him up somewhere, and I don't know where you guys want to tie him up. There's a good, if you had a location in mind, could tie him up on our boat, leave him in there, but you know,
push him out.
Who knows what we'll get up to on there?
I still want to investigate this boat.
Yeah, definitely.
Does he have keys on him? Lock keys. Can I investigate the boat?
Can I check his pockets to make sure he's not, you know, just in case he's got anything else on him that I should be aware of? Just need to check the pockets, Ivan.
Let me check that. No, he has a packet of Russian cigarettes.
I offer him a cigarette from his pack.
Thank you. And you offer to light it for him?
Pardon?
Are you lighting it for him?
Yeah, I'm lighting it for him. Because his hands are now tied behind his back, so I thought I'd offer him one.
Puffs it out. He says, this is not the last cigarette before the firing squad, he says.
No, not today. Not today, Ivan.
Take it out of my mouth, he says. I have more to tell you in return for this cigarette.
I take it out of his mouth for him.
I think he's going to say, give me a moment. I'm just trying to think what he's going to say. So he's going to say, there's an Irishman in Piraeus. He is the dealer for the artifacts we are stealing. Oh, sorry, I haven't got a fag in my mouth anymore. There's an Irishman, he says. that is all I can tell you. I can't tell you any more about who he is. But your friends, they will be being kept in their camp. They are doing all the hard work of the digging. We are making the profit. Well, now maybe not so much. My colleagues, though, they will be alert. So don't leave me, well, if you promise to take me with you in a boat, that is well. Otherwise, leave me tied up on the shore. So that I can tell them I fought with honor alongside my fallen comrades.
Yeah, I think we're gonna leave him tied up on the shore somewhere against some pole of some sort.
He also describes a bit of a map, which I will show you. Give me a moment and I will share my screen. Oh, I thought I had my maps all prepared. Can you see this?
See loads of photographs.
I thought I had these singled out. I don't know why. There we go. So this is the island. You are in this bay here. Can you see my cursor?
Yep.
And up the path is where, let me remind you, 3 of Ivan's friends have gone to raise the alarm. Here is the ruins that are being investigated, and well, and everything else is labeled effectively. Olive trees around the edges, the lake over here, some smaller islands. You could have found one of these other coves if you hadn't wanted to tackle the problem head on. So with that layout as given to you by Ivan, what are your plans?
I'm gonna take the rifle off Electra first. I just want to look at the dents she's inflicted into the stock where she's been bashing people in the head with it, and say, generally, you point it and pull the trigger.
Oh.
And then I say we should. And then I say, yes, we should probably get a move on before they come back. Perhaps instead of what, sorry, was that?
I was going to say Paul will be investigating the boat, but well, you carry on your spiel first.
Yes, perhaps instead of going directly to the camp, we could head down around the olive grove and come at them from a different angle. Maybe scout the area out.
Sounds good. Yep.
I agree with that.
Bit of recon.
Do you want to tangle with them head on again?
But before that, I'm going to look into the. I'm going to check into. You said it was the boats to see if I can salvage any, to get some kind of devices I can use later on for my techie skills. If I can get something I can use later on.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to find out whether there's anything in particular about the boat, and I can't see anything.
Okay.
So I will assume it is the professor's boat, and therefore it has some archaeological equipment on it. Is anything in particular you're looking for, Sophia? Eloise, I mean.
Oh, that's okay. No, but if they have some archaeological things, if they have a pick or something, or a pick of some sort, to have some kind of weapon just in case.
Some of those archaeology bazookas probably in there.
Funnily enough, speaking as somebody who has been to a school of archaeology, I can assure you there is no such thing as an archaeological bazooka.
What about archaeological heavy machine guns?
More heavy machine gun. You're of course of the Indiana Jones school of archaeology, but
Whips? There's got to be at least a whip in there. Maybe a hat and a satchel.
there's no hat, no whip, but there is a handy, rather than a pickaxe. I reckon the pickaxe handle is probably the better thing for you to carry, Eloise. Right, so we have just 10 minutes, which seems to me that we could do another one of those challenges. And this is your nighttime rescue. So who has got a sneak score?
Oh, I do not.
Okay,
I've got 65.
65. You then will be in charge of getting people quietly to the camp. Has anybody got an alertness score?
I do.
Alertness 65.
Oh, that's better than mine.
Okay, so you will with Paul look out for guards.
Okay.
Does anybody have a security score?
Yes, I
Oh.
do 45.
I do 75.
Okay.
Well, what do you have, Eloise? What do you have for sneak?
I don't have a sneak, but I have security 45.
Ah, okay.
It may be that we're going to have to rely on Eloise's security.
hmm
And who's got a search score?
I've got search.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, me too.
What search have you got, Tom?
45.
65.
And 65 here.
So have you got 65? So have you got a security score, Harry, that's higher than?
No, the only thing I've got
Eloise's?
is search and alertness. So
Okay. So the four of you are going to do this. First of all, we're going to hear from Paul on his sneak roll. Then
Right.
we're going to hear from Electra on alertness. Then we're going to hear from Eloise on security to work out what the guards are doing now that the alarm has been raised. And you are going to search for your friend and his granddaughter, which is obvious actually, because they're the ones you're trying to rescue. So all those are going to happen. Let me just get the challenge rules up again, because I can't remember quite how they go. There's a sort of table. Okay. So let us roll and see how many successes we get. I will give you +2 because it's dark. No, sorry. On the sneak, I will give you +2 because it's dark. Is there
Okay.
anything else you want to do on the sneak that you could use your abilities with?
Not for me, no.
Okay.
So 65. 28.
28. You successfully managed to lead your way in a roundabout route, a discreet route to the camp. Next is Electra. We're looking for alertness from you, Electra.
Okay. Being the overconfident person I am, I'm not really giving it my all because I figure
so
I'll hear anyone
-3 on
coming.
that.
Yeah. So
I can give you a -5 because it's dark anyway.
So that's
-2.
minus.
So that's -5 in total.
Okay.
Get
Yeah.
a 1 to 5 on your ones.
I got an 80, so I've failed.
No, he did. Oh,
So-
no, you failed anyway.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Eloise, are you running security?
Yes.
I think you are, aren't you?
Yes, 29 out of 45.
29 out of 45. That is successful. I think the scene, you were looking out for guards, Electra, and making a bit of a hash of it, but Eloise managed to tug you into a bush saying, look, they're making a search pattern. They're looking for us. And you get to the tents, and Tom, make your roll.
It's 45, which is my score. So does that mean I've got it?
Good enough.
Squeezed in.
Just. Let me just check on that one. So that was 3 successes, which is a good result. Excellent. Well, not an excellent result, a good result. So let me tell you what that means. Okay, you manage to free the archaeologists and sneak back to the boat.
So we've
You're going to take them home?
we've got
Mm.
so we've
Right.
both Chappie and his daughter, is it, or how many people have you just rescued?
You've just, well,
Was it
good point.
just
How
the
many
2 we
people were
know,
there?
or
Were there any more?
Hmm.
I can't remember now. Give me a moment. Professor Alexandros, his daughter Louisa. Yes, there's a couple more with them.
so we probably have to steal the other boat as well?
And Thomas
Yeah.
Constantino.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we can get Paul to steal the other boat so we can get them all back off the island, or
Well,
or did we end up with keys for that?
I think Eloise was more of a hot wire, wasn't she?
Okay.
Eloise, yeah. Can you start the boat, Eloise?
Yes, I can. Give me a second. It's engineering or electronics. Which one?
Well, I guess it's ignition, isn't it? So that would be electronics.
Okay, it's a 65.
Okay.
And I roll 16. 1-6.
Nice.
16, that's good enough. So you start the boat. Has anybody got a decent drive skill?
I do.
Well,
I think.
obviously, but you're driving one of the boats.
Vehicles
Or
45.
you could all fit in this boat and leave the other boat there, but it is a boat you've hired.
Could we tie the higher boat onto the larger boat and then
Of
just
course we
tow it back?
can.
Okay. And what about whatever happened to Ivan? Is he tied up in the boat still?
I've tied him up on the pier.
All right. Should we let him go just before we head off, or?
No, well, I think they'll find him.
They'll find him. All right.
I give him a
Okay.
little nod as we go off.
All right. I think we'll tie the boats together and all pile into the larger boat and head back to the higher place, I guess.
Okay. And I think we will leave it there for the evening. You've rescued the archaeologist, but there is still work to be done. Find the mastermind behind this plot. So shall we meet again same time next week?
Yep.
Yes,
yep,
of course.
Excellent.
We might find the seasick Frida back on the mainland,
Yeah,
waiting for us.
it's one of her great weaknesses. She's a superwoman in all sorts of respects, and she's got 2 guns, as Jay said, but she does have a problem with waves. Flying, no problem at all.
Yeah.
Boats, very different matter. So thank you guys, and thank you Edwin and anybody else who might be watching. We will return at 18:30 UTC, 7:30 in the evening in British summertime next Wednesday for the 3rd and possibly the final part of the Minoan Affair. And I am stopping sharing, and I am